Philippe Aghion and Peter Howitt just won the Nobel Prize for their work on creative destruction, a concept that sees progress as new innovations replacing the old. Aghion and Howitt explained and measured what Joseph Schumpeter first introduced, earning them economics' highest honor. Creative destruction says progress happens when innovations push out what came before, in an endless cycle of replacement. This idea echoes the Hegelian dialectic Marx adopted, where growth springs from conflict and something must die for something new to live. The phrase itself joins two opposites, create and destroy, capturing the tension at the heart of this powerful metaphor. But like any human idea, creative destruction has limits, and it's been misunderstood in ways that caused real harm. Misreading the concept has led to collateral damage, reinforced narratives of violence, and fueled extreme competition that excludes rather than includes. Here's the key shift. Innovating doesn't mean destroying. It means improving what already exists. Real progress doesn't come from tearing things down, but from renewal, evolution, and steady improvement over time. Economies move forward when they learn, adapt, and optimize without wasting resources or talent along the way. This creates a virtuous circle of continuous improvement, where learning, adaptation, optimization, and efficiency feed into each other and lift everything higher. I developed this approach in my book through a three-step framework: analyze, act, advance. First, you analyze to see what works and what needs changing. Then you act by applying concrete improvements. And finally, you advance by locking in what you've learned and moving forward. Analyzing means identifying what's working well, what must change, and exactly how to make those changes happen. Acting is where you apply specific improvements and measure the results to see what's actually working. Advancing means you consolidate what you've learned and use it as a foundation for lasting success. The Shewhart-Deeming cycle, known as PDCA, offers another clear example of this virtuous circle in action. You plan your approach, do the work, check the results, and then act on what you find, cycling through again and again. Each PDCA cycle feeds an upward spiral, driving both growth and deeper learning with every turn. The new doesn't wipe out the old. Instead, it integrates, refines, and elevates what came before. The software industry has always done this, releasing new versions that still work with earlier ones, building up rather than starting over. The simplistic reading of creative destruction has had some troubling consequences in how organizations operate. Thinking you must discard what exists has pushed senior professionals into early retirement, wasted accumulated talent, and broken the chain that passes knowledge forward. Some see experience as an obstacle when it's actually a source of wealth and stability. The most valuable talent isn't technical skill, but the ability to lead, govern well, and foster the right attitudes in others. Wasting that accumulated talent is like dropping the baton in a relay race because the runners didn't sync up. In creative destruction theory, bankruptcy isn't just expected, it's seen as a necessary part of how the economy works. But the idea that failure is inevitable clashes with the possibility that smart strategy can change a company's fate. A company can learn from its environment, anticipate what's coming, and reconfigure itself to stay ahead. A company doesn't have to die if it can learn, anticipate changes, and reconfigure how it operates. A strategy department focuses on what's important, but not urgent, as Stephen Covey would say, working in a different time frame than daily operations. This servosystemic function detects when things drift off course, corrects the path, and keeps the organization aligned with a changing world. It's a continuous feedback loop. Observe what's happening, analyze the data, act on it, and then reevaluate the results. Destructive creativity says organizations must die to make room for the new, while evolutionary creativity lets them transform from within and survive. The concept of unlearning gets repeated a lot in change management, but it carries some of the same problems as creative destruction. Unlearning suggests forgetting what you know, while critical learning means keeping what's valuable and turning experience into practical wisdom. Unlearning without careful thought leads to forgetting valuable knowledge, accepting new ideas without question, and erasing hard-won experience. True progress comes from a critical spirit that preserves what works, clears out what's obsolete, and builds wisdom from experience. As the prayer attributed to St. Augustine says, we need serenity to accept what we can't change, courage to change what we can, and wisdom to tell the difference. That triple attitude of energy, patience, and wisdom captures the spirit of constant improvement. Analyze wisely, act decisively, and advance with balance. Instead of creative destruction, I propose an economy of continuous improvement that values both experience as a foundation and youth as a source of fresh energy. Creative destruction says you must destroy to create, while continuous improvement says you learn, integrate, and perfect without tearing things down. This economy of continuous improvement treats experience as the base for progress, youth as renewing energy, and innovation as a process of integration and refinement rather than replacement. Progress isn't a series of ruptures and fresh starts. It's a virtuous spiral of learning, efficiency, and respect for the knowledge we've built together. We are where we are for a reason, not by chance. And that matters when we think about moving forward. So we analyze with wisdom, act with determination, and advance with balance, consolidating what we learn and immediately starting the next cycle of improvement. A more harmonious and humanistic vision of innovation reduces the collateral damage, fosters optimism, and respects the accumulated knowledge and effort that brought us here.